A judge has condemned Tusla's child protection crisis, with the state agency operating at barely half capacity and leaving the most vulnerable children at extreme risk. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Brief. Today is Tuesday, 21st July 2026. I'm Neil, and in the next few minutes I'll take you through the news that matters at home in Ireland, then across to Britain and out into the wider world. Everything you need to know before the day begins. Ireland. Let's begin here at home in Ireland. A judge has issued a scathing criticism of Tusla, the child and family agency, after the organisation revealed it is operating just 14 of its 26 available beds. The shortfall has been blamed on severe staff recruitment and retention difficulties, leaving the agency unable to fulfil its core safeguarding obligations. The judge's remarks highlight a systemic crisis within state child protection services that leaves some of Ireland's most vulnerable children exposed to extreme risk. This is a direct failure of the state to protect those who depend most on it, and it demands immediate action from government. On a different note, childcare costs are climbing steeply for Irish families. Childcare facilities are withdrawing from the government's core funding scheme, forcing parents to absorb monthly cost increases of up to €400. The Fonthill Lodge Group has warned that requirements to freeze fees threaten the survival of 2 of its facilities, putting further pressure on an already stretched childcare affordability crisis. For working parents juggling budgets across Ireland, this compounds an already difficult equation. On a lighter note, more Irish homeowners are taking advantage of the Rent a Room tax relief scheme. Revenue figures show that over 18,000 people benefited from the scheme in 2024, nearly double the number from 6 years earlier. The scheme allows homeowners to earn up to €14,000 tax-free by renting out spare rooms, and its growing uptake suggests more people are turning to this option to supplement household income or navigate housing costs. It's a snapshot of how households are adapting to Ireland's housing landscape. And the government is moving to restrict e-scooter use among young people. New regulations will ban e-scooters for under 18s, following safety concerns and high-profile incidents. The move comes after the tragic death of Grace Lynch and ongoing debates about the unregulated use of e-scooters on Irish streets, an issue that has concerned parents and local authorities across the country. The balance between mobility and safety for young people remains a live debate as these rules take shape. UK. Now across the Irish Sea to the UK. A major political shift is underway in Britain. Andy Burnham has been appointed UK Prime Minister and has unveiled his new cabinet, signalling what he calls a circuit breaker moment for the country, with significant economic and political changes ahead. John Healey, a former Defence Minister, has been named Chancellor, while Ed Miliband takes on the role of Foreign Secretary. For Ireland, this matters because UK government changes directly affect UK-Ireland relations, Brexit implementation, Northern Ireland policy, and cross-border trade. Burnham's economic approach and the choices his cabinet makes will shape future UK-Irish negotiations on shared concerns: energy, trade, and the stability of Northern Ireland. In the Scottish administration, Douglas Alexander has been confirmed as Scottish Secretary within Burnham's cabinet, continuing his role amid the broader reshuffles. His retention signals continuity in how the UK manages devolved administrations. Scotland's leadership and its coordination on shared issues will remain important to the wider UK-Irish relationship. And in Northern Ireland, the Deputy First Minister Emma Little-Pengelly has expressed shock and revulsion at the arrest of former DUP leader Jeffrey Donaldson. The development has sent shockwaves through the party and raised fresh questions about the stability of Northern Ireland's political leadership at a sensitive time. Here at home, that means Northern Ireland's political turbulence directly affects the entire island's future. Power sharing arrangements, cross-border relations, and the functioning of institutions established under the Good Friday Agreement all depend on stable leadership and sound governance. World. And finally, out into the wider world. The United States has intensified its military campaign against Iran, launching its 10th consecutive night of strikes. The operations target Iranian capabilities to attack shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Simultaneously, a tanker has been attacked in the same waterway, and President Trump has warned of further retaliation. The escalation marks a dangerous deepening of US-Iran military tensions in one of the world's most critical energy corridors. Why does this matter on this side of the Irish Sea? Because escalating military conflict in the Strait of Hormuz directly threatens global oil supply routes and shipping safety. Ireland's economy is exposed to energy price volatility, and Irish shipping interests operate in Middle Eastern waters affected by this regional instability. Any disruption to energy flows can ripple through household bills and business costs at home. Adding to that pressure, Yemen's Houthi forces have announced a maritime embargo against Saudi Arabia, effective immediately. The blockade is framed as retaliation for Saudi restrictions on Yemeni ports, and it threatens to open a new front in the broader US-Iran tensions engulfing the region. For Irish businesses and traders, Houthi actions in the Red Sea and Arabian Sea disrupt global shipping lanes, critical to EU and Irish commerce. Supply chain disruptions and rising insurance costs for vessels transiting these waters directly increase the price of imports and exports, a real impact on Irish companies and consumers. Elsewhere, the United States has imposed 50% tariffs on Canada, marking a sharp escalation in North American trade tensions. Canadian officials are vowing to intensify trade negotiations in response, as both sides dig in. The move signals a broader hardening of US trade policy. For Ireland, this matters because trade disruptions between major North American partners can ripple through global supply chains, affecting Irish export sectors, particularly pharmaceuticals and technology. Canada is also an EU trading partner, and any US protectionism sets a precedent for the bilateral trade relations Ireland depends on. A lot moving this morning. Major shifts in UK politics, deepening tensions across the Middle East, and trade friction that could reshape supply chains affecting Irish business and households. And that's the morning brief for today. Whatever the day brings, take it steady. I'm Neil. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Until then, look after yourself. Finally, the European Commission has handed down a substantial penalty to AliExpress, the Chinese e-commerce platform, fining it €629 million for failing to prevent the sale of counterfeit and illegal goods. It's a major enforcement action against online platforms operating within EU territory and marks a significant crackdown on fake products. Here at home, that means Irish consumers are protected by this ruling. You have recourse and protection when you're buying online in Europe, and legitimate Irish businesses competing against counterfeits now have stronger rules backing them up. A lot moving this morning: a bail system in crisis, housing policy shifting, a new Prime Minister in London, and global instability rippling through food and fuel markets. But there's also hope in renewable breakthroughs and the possibility of de-escalation in the Middle East. And that's the morning brief for today. Whatever the day brings, take it steady. I'm Neil. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Until then, look after yourself.